Little Red Riding Hood, retold by Karen Mockler, illustrated by Chiara Fedele. Focus question: how do red choices affect the story? Once upon a time, there lived a girl with a little riding hood of red velvet. She liked it so well that she could never wear anything else. For this reason, many folk called her Little Red Riding Hood. Those closest to her, however, called her Red. One day, Red's mom asked her to take some cake to Grandma, who was not well. Go quickly through the woods. Do not leave the path, and do not talk to strangers. Mom said. I will take great care, Red replied. Just as Red entered the woods, however, she met Wolf. Red did not know what a wicked creature he was, so she did not know to be wary of him. Such a beautiful morning, Wolf said with a smile. Where are you going, child? To Grandma, Red answered politely. What have you got in the basket? Wolf asked. Grandma's not feeling well, Red explained. Yesterday I was baking cakes, so I'm taking her for some cakes. Wolf grinned noodles and his approval. Where does Grandma live? He asked next. Further in the woods, under two large oak trees, Red said. Wolf's belly rumbled. His brain raced. He could eat Grandma for lunch and Red for dessert. To catch both, though, he knew he must act quickly. "Ah, springtime," says Wolf. "How sweetly the birds sing. Have you noticed the pretty flowers all around you? Grandmas love white flowers. If I were you, I'd pick a bunch for yours." Red listens. The birds did sing sweetly. Red looked about her. The flowers were pretty indeed. She bent down to pick one. "Have a nice visit," cried Wolf as he hastened away. Red wandered from the path into the woods to search for flowers. Whenever she picked one, she spotted an even prettier one farther off the path. She wanted and picked and wondered. Meanwhile, Wolf sprinted straight to Grandma's house under the two large oak trees and knocked at the door. "Who is there?" asked Grandma, lying sick in her bed. "It's Red," called Boy in a high, sweet voice. "I brought you some food to eat." "Lift the latch and come in," called Grandma, and two went together. Wolf lifted the latch, and the door sprang open. Without another word, he went straight to Grandma's bed and swallowed her whole. Then he dressed himself in a cap, climbing into her bed and drew the curtains. When Red had picked enough flowers, she set out again for Grandma's house. When they arrived at Grandma's cottage, under the three large oak trees, she was surprised to find the floor open. A feeling of dread flooded her as she stepped inside. "Good morning," she called, but no one answered. So she went to bed and drew back the curtains. Before her lay a very strange sight indeed. "Oh, Grandma," Red cried, "what big ears you have!" "All the better to hear you with, child," Wolf said. "Oh, Grandma," Red cried, "what big eyes you have!" "All the better to see you with, child," Wolf said. "Oh, Grandma," Red cried, "what a big, terrible mouth you have!" "All the better to eat you with," Wolf roared. With one bound, he leaped out of the bed and swallowed Red. Flowers and cake all. Belly are now full. Wolf lay down again on the bed and drifted off to sleep. inside Wolf's stomach. Wolf lay down again on the bed and drifted off to sleep. Inside Wolf's stomach, it was dark and cramped, but Red managed to reach down and squeeze Grandma's hands. Grandma squeaked back. Neither spoke. The only sound came from above, a simpling rolling thunder. When Red raised her head, she could discern a weak light leaking down Wolf's throat. Then she understood. Wolf was snoring with his mouth open. Inch by inch, Red lifted her bulkhead of rice, twice, thrice. He coughed once, twice, thrice. Then he kept coughing until he coughed Red up. And the last he did, Red held tight to Grandma's hand and pulled her out too. They fastened the wolf, still asleep, to Grandma's bed. Then the Grandma and Red settled down for a nice long chat. They drank tea and ate cake. Then the wolf awoke from his nap. You can be sure he didn't get any. Connections. Writing. How might the story be different if Red didn't stop to pick the flowers? Write a paragraph describing how the story would change. Social studies. Does the story take place in a suburban, rural, or city setting? How do you know? Share your ideas with a partner. Which genre is in this story? 32. What is the fight of Red stopping to talk to Wolf? How do Red and Grandma solve the problem of Wolf being in the house once they escape? What does Red learn in this story? Which words mean the most the same as fear? Which of the following happens last? What is a fight of Red escaping from Wolf's belly? Why does Wolf dress up in Grandma's clothes? Where does Red meet Wolf? An unknown or female person is called